Good morning, my name is Daniela COF, and I want you guys to imagine a situation which you're probably not in, but just imagine being 16 years old and while everybody's getting their driver's permit, you can't, or graduating high school and everybody's going on to their big 4-year, which we all probably wanted to do if not we were here, but and you can't because you simply can't afford it, or there isn't something called FAFSA that supports your economic situation. Or maybe getting older and wanting to go to Cabo when you're 21, but you can't leave the country, or turning 30 and wanting to expand your credit and build a, get a house and get married and support your kids, but you can't just because you don't have a social security or a 9-digit number. Even though there has been improvements for the DREAM Act, it's just it helps out kids get to college, but it hasn't helped anybody older. And immigration reform is greatly needed in the U.S. because there is currently 11 million illegal immigrants in the U.S. today. So illegal immigrants are risk takers, and they come to this country for new opportunities. In the states, some states allow licenses and IDs, but California doesn't if you don't have a social security. So imagine walking around the streets, you don't even have like an identification card that doesn't have your name on it. And that's kind of scary if you were to get in a situation like that. So my proposal would be that a comprehensive immigration reform would create jobs and a sense of security for immigrants. According to the Center of American Progress says that immigrant reform, it would create and support over 900,000 new jobs within the first 3 years of a reform because it increases the consumer spending. So that means that if there is more legal people, then they're more likely to, have more jobs and expand their credit and stuff like that. That would benefit our country. And also, illegal immigration benefits. According to the Small Business Administration, 30% are more likely to start new businesses, and the people that currently have businesses provide jobs for American workers, so it benefits them as well. Also, illegal immigration boosts earnings for American workers. Since the 1990s, immigrants have constituted 50% of the growth in the U.S. labor force, with 1 out of 8 workers being foreigners. Even though there is currently a lot of immigration reforms going on right now, especially with the Republicans trying to say that they are going to benefit us and all that stuff. It's hard for them because they say these things just to get more workers. So, no, I'm sorry, not more workers, more voters. But then sometimes people believe that they're lying. So what usually they say is that many say that deporting immigrants would just be easier. But CNN actually did a study, and it said that if these people were to be deported, it would actually lose America $2.6 trillion, while if they just made a new worker program, it would lead a gain of $792 billion. Meaning that if they just even give them a work visa, people can start working and start earning towards their Social Security that will later help them for their children or the generations after that, and it would overall help our economy because because people think that these people are coming into America and taking our jobs and stuff like that, but to be honest, it's a complementary workforce and it's not a replacement workforce. So if everybody can just work together along, I mean, we're all immigrants here. The only Native people really are the Native Americans. That's what some people do not understand. So comprehensive immigration reform that legalizes currently unauthorized immigrants and creates flexible and legal limits on future immigration, which would create a safer environment for them and at least for them to get some type of liability and protection. Thank you.
question for you. Are you doing like 4 minutes left, or I have 4 minutes? Because that confused me. It made me feel like I only had.
It's always a countdown.
Okay.
It's always a countdown.
Do like 1 minute.
No, you shouldn't have to do math while you're giving a speech.
Well, no, I know that, but it just made me think that I was at 4 minutes. That's why I started.
Well, you would be at 4 minutes left to speak. I think I said that. Didn't I say that?
No, you didn't say anything about the cards.
I said that he was going to show you a countdown. So when you see 3, that means you have 3 minutes left, and 2, you have 2 minutes left. I swear I had that conversation.
You were starting to mention it, but you never
But then
actually specified.
you transferred
Yeah,
to
so when
another
you put up
topic.
the 4, I thought I was at 4 minutes.
No. Okay, well, no, the answer is no. And you should have kept going if you had more to say.
I thought that. I didn't think so. It's okay.
I already said I wouldn't cut people off.
I'm sorry. I just making sure.
Okay. I'm not having a false memory on this.
No, you did say that.
Okay.
You did say that I'm everybody was free.
Yeah.
But I did say well, given to me, explain it.
I think what I'm doing there was trying to defining because the cards are different things. And that's what got you
I'm
off.
going to put left.
Yeah, on the, you said you
It's a countdown. I don't think that's it's okay. It's not legal. Didn't affect her speech because she finished. All right. All right, the visualization at the beginning, I think, is a pretty good start for the presentation. We know what the subject is going to be. It sounds to me like you identify a claim early on, but it needs to be highlighted a little bit more. And then actually you present a second claim that I think you are indicating is the proposition. That claim has 2 components to it, so I think you need to have a singular statement of the issue instead of breaking it up into this. That's almost a preview of what the supporting points are going to be. And I think that would have been helpful to have it separate as a preview of what the structure is. After that, though, I didn't really see much of a structure in the presentation. It just seemed like ideas came out and they were strung together without any particular pattern. I've got some information about job creation, some information about the number of immigrants, some information about what the potential benefit would be, some examples like you talked about early in the speech concerning some of the difficulties that people are faced with in these circumstances, and I think that needs to be organized a little bit more. There's probably a structure there, but it's not easy to pick out, and listeners are not very good. The truth of the matter is you have to work hard at listening, and people often don't, so you have to help them a little bit by giving them that structure. On the supporting information, I thought you had some good statistical information. You had the one study. I think you need a little bit more explanation of how that CNN result was calculated. I thought that was okay. And then you had a couple of examples. I had no idea what all the political stuff was doing in the speech, because it seemed to be separate from the argument about what the impact of this would be. It sounds like it's talking points instead of an argument that's being presented here, and I think that that's a little problematic. You cited sources pretty consistently in the presentation. I thought that you did a nice job speaking to the audience and delivering materials effectively. Like I said, I think you could use a little more structure, and a summary is a good way to do that too. So even if stuff doesn't get clear in the body of the speech, if you can come back and say at the end, so we know that comprehensive immigration reform would increase employment, improve the economy, and stop these problems from happening, and that's why we need to have it, then even if somebody was not very clear in listening to the speech before, they'd be able to go back and say, okay, those are the points that all this information is supposed to be supportive of, and I could look back and make an assessment about whether I really believe those particular points given what you said. All right, thank you.